Hello and welcome to this next AAR. This is a game of Infamy by the Too Fat Lardies, the ancient skirmish rules. I've not played this for, it's definitely over 6 months now, so I thought I'll get this on the table, I'll have another crack at it. It's been a while, I bought some new figures, so I wanted to try those out in this game. This is going to be a Gaulish attack on a Roman stronghold somewhere in Gaul. This is the ex-centurion Pompus Maximus's little villa, been granted it by Caesar after his campaigning came to an end. So this is Caesar's gift, and the Gauls are going to try to evict the local Romans from their little small holding. So let's see how we get on with that. I'll show you the forces, I'll show you the table, and we'll get on with this game. So this is the table looking from the Gaulish side. I've yet to roll to see where their deployment zone is, but it will be somewhere on this side of this table. And the same with the Romans over here. But this is the little Roman villa that is basically what the Gauls are going to be attacking for. And over here there's another small holding as well with a little field of corn. So this is what the Romans are defending. I've normally had it the other way around with the Romans attacking the Gauls, so I thought let's shake things up a bit and see how the Gauls do when they attack. So I've just got yet to set up the scouting positions for the Romans. The Gauls don't have any in this one because they don't have any cavalry and they are on the attack. But the Romans will do because they do have cavalry. And as I say, the objective is to evict this chap, Pompus Maximus, from his villa and take it back under indomitable Gaulish control. So here we have our forces. Both of these coming at about 75 points, give or take, a couple of points here and there. So we've got the Romans' defences. These are made up of one set of 8 legionaries, also one set of 8 auxilia. They also have an optio and the centurion Pompus Maximus. Their optio is called Ephes Ophus. He's come all the way from Cyprus up to the cold north. We also have 8 archers as well, and a squadron of 6 cavalry on hand, and also they've got a little bit of heavy artillery in the form of a scorpion as well, with 5 crew. It's got 4 there, but it should have 5. I just don't have that extra figure. So the Gauls have Ambaxtoi warriors here. These are the heavily armed elite warriors of the village. They also have 3 groups of 10 warriors as well here. These are armed with swords and shields on the whole. And then we also have a tribal levy at the back with a level 2 leader with them there. And we also have at the front as well 6 slingers out as a skirmish screen. They are led by obviously by Asterix and Obelix, Asterix being a level 3 and Obelix being a level 2 leader. Okay, I've rolled for the deployment zones of both the Gauls and the Romans, and interestingly enough, the Gauls rolled here, so they come in somewhere between 24 inches long and 6 inches depth into the table here, so it's directly in front of their objective. And the Romans, as I say, strangely enough, rolled exactly the same on the opposite side, so there is also 24 inches wide by 6 inches deep, just behind the building itself. Because of this, it meant that the Romans, the Gauls are attacking into Roman territory, so the Romans are allowed to scout out some areas, and they were able to put an ambush point here for their cavalry at the edge of the house. So that will probably just sit there waiting until some Gauls get close by. As you may know, Infamy uses a game deck, which is here, so I've put all the leaders into the game deck. I forgot to mention that the Romans have supernumerary leaders as part of their individual units, so the cavalry have one, the archers have one, the scorpion also has one as well. So I think there's 6 Roman leaders in total all put in here. There's only 2 of them with the names. Everyone starts with an infamy card. I've just dealt these out, I haven't looked at them yet, and they also start with 6 signa cards, which can be used for moving, attacking, using anything that they want to do that for any unit that hasn't activated during the turn. I've also rolled for force morale for both of the Gauls here and the Romans, and as you can see they're both on a force morale of 9, so it's pretty high. Not brilliant, but you know, pretty high, average I would say. So what I'll do here is, when I'm playing the game, I'm going to be drawing from the game deck, and it's going to be a little bit dull you watching me draw from this game deck. So what I'm going to do is, first couple of turns I'll show you basically how the game deck works, and then from then on I'll do it off camera, just because, you know, there's not much point to me showing you which card it is, but I will tell you which one it is I've drawn when I'm doing the moves and things. So let's have a look at these Infamy cards, and let's see what they've got. So the Gauls, this is sometimes a bonus or not. So it says a deserter. A deserter shows you a secret path. This card allows one group, mob or formation not in close combat to immediately move 1d6 plus 6 inches, ignoring terrain effects. That's pretty useful, because the Gauls need to get across the table pretty quick to that objective, so that is very good for them. So this is like an events card. And then the Romans, assassin. A shadowy figure in your pace seeks to harm your foe. When an enemy leader is potentially hit in close combat, this card will adjust the roll by -2. So that means when you're rolling to see if the leader has been hit, you'll actually take 2 off the chance of hitting them, so there's more chance of hitting. So pretty good again for the Romans. That's a nice defense card for them. So as I say, we'll crack straight into the game. We start off by drawing the top card of the game deck, and this will tell us which unit can then activate. So first one is blue, leader 1, so that is Asterix of the Gauls. So he can deploy onto table, and he can also bring some units with him, I think. So I think he's probably going to do that. So Asterix has wasted no time in bringing on his 4 mobs under his control. Obelix is obviously still eating his wild boar somewhere, so he's off table at the moment. But we've got the first Gauls bearing down on the villa. In response to that barbarian threat, the Romans have brought on their Scorpion. So they deployed that at the edge of the villa. Now this is going to fire because it's got up to a range of up to 60 inches, so basically pretty much everywhere on the board at this point. He's firing at this group of warriors here. He needs a 4, 5, 6 to hit. I'm going to discount, well, these have light armour on, but it ignores all armour when it hits, if it hits, and it also ignores cover as well, or reduces cover by 1. By 1 bound. I was going to say that the hedges and the vines are probably light cover, but for something like a large bolt going through a hedge, I don't think it's going to be a particular obstacle to it. So it's just a basic roll, 4, 5, 6 to hit. So look, 4, 5, 6, so we got a 5, that's a hit. Roll again for the damage. 1, 2 is nothing, 3, 4 shock, 5, 6 is a kill. So let's see what we get. A 2, nothing, so the Scorpion has done nothing, but at least it's loosed off a bolt. So Ephes Offus has arrived, the Roman leader 2. He's brought on the legionaries, the veteran legionaries, to get them onto the table, ready to take on the warriors as they are piling down that open space. But he's brought them on into the woods, he's going to get them through those woods and then fight them on the slopes by the side of the villa. The Romans have drawn leader 3. So this is the unnamed leader for the auxiliary troops. So they've come on to plug that gap between the villa and the other villa, and also the woods as well. So we're trying to basically flank the barbarian attack at this point. And the Gauls have brought on their slingers. These are skirmishers. They've come on here on the left flank of the warrior group just to basically cover the cavalry ambush point. Just to make sure that if there is an attack by cavalry, they could probably lay down some fire on them as they charge into the warriors, because we don't want that to happen, do we? So this is how the table looks a little at the moment. We've got the Romans coming on either flank of the villa, whilst the barbarians are making a beeline for it. One thing I forgot to do when Asterix deployed with his men was to use 2 of his command initiatives to instill fervour. I'm going to do it now because it makes no effect whatsoever on the course of the game so far. He's also playing a Signa card to add 1 to his dice roll, so the Signa card will go into the deck. We roll the dice, we add 1. 5 is a 6, so that gives us, they increase their fervour by 2 points, with one random group adding a 3rd point. So let's count off. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. If I roll a 5 or a 6, I'll re-roll again. So this is the one with the extra point. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Let's roll again. 4. So this group at the back here actually has 3 points of fervour, which is not great because they wanted the ones at the front with fervour, and the rest of them now have 2. For those that don't know, while I put the fervour down, this is basically barbarians fighting advantage. It's if they take any shock, they have to take it off their fervour first of all. It also adds points when they're fighting in any combat, but they have to instill fervour in the troops, and the leader has to do it. So Asterix has got them all hopped up, give them some magic potion, and well, especially these ones at the back, they're drunk on it, and yeah, they're all now ready to fight. The Gauls have brought on their next set of tribal levy, so this is everybody now from the Gauls are on, apart from Obelix, who is obviously still eating his wild boar. This leader is level 2, so he's used all his command initiatives to instill fervour. They only managed to get a 1, they rolled a 2, so they only got 1 point of fervour, but at least they've got some. And I put these here again to try to plug that gap over there where the auxiliary Romans are coming in, and also where that Scorpion is as well. So they're trying to deal with them on the flank, whilst the main body of Gauls heads towards the villa. And then the Romans have brought on their final, their last leader, which is the Centurion, the ex-Centurion, the veteran who's put his armour back on just for this particular fight. This is Pompus Maximus. He has not deployed with a particular unit. I put him here because I want him to be able to, when he draws his card in further turns, be able to command a couple of units rather than be stuck with one. So if he's here, he can get these veteran legionaries moving, or he can also get the archers firing as well. So he can do a couple of things with his command initiatives at this point. And now the Gauls have brought on Obelix. He's obviously finished his wild boar, realises there's some Romans to bash, so he's appeared. He is going to use his command initiatives to instill fervour again on this group. He's joined this group, and he's also spending a Signa card to add a +1 to the dice roll. So we roll the dice, add 1. 2 becomes a 3. They all increase their fervour by 1 point. When fervour reaches 6, the maximum they can have is 6. It will drop down if they get any more than 6. So we've got our first round of combat. The Roman AAR cavalry have attacked from their ambush point straight into the skirmishers to try and wipe them out. This is quite a lot of dice they've got here. I think it's about 12 or 14, so that's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 dice. The reason for this is because they're impetuous, so they're classed as elite in the first attack. They also have aggressive attacks, so that gives them another dice. They have as many dice as the figures give them as well. And also they are cavalry against skirmishers. So they've got 14 dice. The skirmishers, unfortunately, have only managed to get 6 dice. So let's see what happens. We roll a dice. The skirmishers, being unarmoured, will be killed. They don't have a saving roll. The Romans are in medium armour, so they will save on a 5 or a 6 as well on top of this. So I think the cavalry is going to come out pretty well on this one. What we do, we roll dice. 5s and 6s are hits, are kills, with 6 also causing shock. So let's see what happens with the cavalry first of all. I said that. We've got 1, 2 hits, so that's 2 kills on the skirmishers. So there's no shock. As I say, they don't take any rolls because they don't have armour on. Now let's see how many kills the skirmishers cause on the cavalry. This could go completely the opposite way to what I thought. 5s and 6s, yeah, look at that. Right, so we've got 4 kills on the cavalry, giving them 3 shock as well. So, God, they've come off terrible there. These Gauls must be hopped up on some form of their magic potion. So 4 of the cavalry are off, leaving 2 remaining. They have lost the combat by more than 2. Obviously, they've lost 4 to 2. So they withdraw by 2 inches per point of shock. So they'll fall back 6 inches. In fact, that's almost back to their ambush point. So they're now over there. So good work, skirmishers, for standing against that cavalry charge. Okay, we've just drawn the Tempus Fugit card, so that ends the turn. It was actually the last card in the deck, so that's interesting. So what I'll do now is reshuffle the cards, start again. At this point, everybody has got everything on the table that they're going to use, even though the Roman cavalry have been destroyed. Good first turn for the Gauls at this point. They're building up further and they're getting close to their objective already. Just before the next turn starts, the Gauls have played their deserter card, the infamy card, to move their tribal levy 1d6 plus 6 inches forward. They rolled a 2, so they've moved them forward 8 inches. So they're now piling down towards the auxiliary over there. So hopefully they'll be able to give them a good duffing up at least. Okay, so we're starting the next turn. We give the cards a good shuffle and then draw one. Let's see who we've got. It is Roman Leader 2, so that's our Optio, Ephes Ophus. So Ephes Ophus has brought forward the legionaries through the woods. They're struggling a bit in the heavy going, but I just want to get them out so they can be ready to flank attack these warriors as they move in. Judging that valour is the better part of honour, the Roman horse have used Sigma cards to get rid of their shock and then decided to bolt around the back of the villa, the remaining two. I did think about charging them into the remainers of the skirmishers, but they probably would have just come off just as bad, and the last two probably would have been killed. So I'm going to hold them back for now. They may be still useful. Well, our Gaulish slingers are straight back in action. They are now throwing their slings at the advancing legionaries. There's 4 of them. They need 5 sixes to hit. Legionaries are in cover and in heavy armour. So the first kill is going to be ignored and he will be a shock instead. They need 5 sixes to hit in the first place. So we've hit with 2 of them. They get an armour saving roll. Their armour saving roll is 6 is a kill, 5 is a shock. But as I said, the first kill we ignore anyway. So let's see, 4 and a 2, so nothing anyway. And then Asterix is back in action. He is giving out some magic potions to these Gauls, because we're just currently waiting for the legionaries to make their move out into the open. So he's going to instill further into them. We're using a Sigma card to give them a +1. So we roll the dice, +1. 7 is all groups add 2 points of fervour, with 2 random groups adding 3 more. So let's see, we'll do the same again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first one here is, we'll re-roll that, because that was a 6. So this group here gets an extra 1, so they've now gone up to 6. And the second random group, well, they've already got 1, so we can't do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's these ones here. As soon as they hit 6 on their fervour, they drop straight back down to 1. So that's a bit of an annoyance for them. But everybody else is up by another 2. So not so bad. That's a problem with fervour. You don't really want to gamble with it, to push it up. But I'm not going to instill any more fervour with these. These really need to get into a fight right now. These Gauls are desperate to get into the fight. The tribal levy have pushed forward. They get an extra inch for their movement. I think they rolled a 7, so they get 8 inch because they've got an extra fervour, and they're bearing down on the auxiliary troops over there, looking to have another scrap really, to try and take out that artillery piece, the Scorpion. And then Obelix has used his commands to move the mob further forward. So they're now pushing up a bit. They haven't charged or anything at this point, so I'm just basically just getting them forward so I can try to get them into contact, or at least give them a choice as to attack the archers or attack the legionaries there in the woods. Okay, the Roman auxiliary have piled in before the warriors, the levy, managed to get a chance to. So they're rolling, let me see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 dice against the levies, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 dice. So they've got 2 more, slightly higher. 5s and 6s are hits. As we said before, 6s cause kill and shock. The levy are wearing light armour, so they can save on a 5. The auxiliaries are wearing medium armour, so they'll save on 5s and 6s. But let's get these rolled first of all. So we've got first hits. This is from the auxiliary, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and that's also 3 shock. So the first point of shock is absorbed by that 1 point of fervour. So they only take 2 shock there, but 3 kills. We also have to roll then to see if it is the leader. A 1 or a 2, and it is. Yes, it's hit on the leader as well. So one of the hits is on the leader, and 2 on 2 of the other chaps. They, as I say, are wearing light armour, so let's try and save them. First 2, the normal warriors. 5 and a 1, that's 2 dead. So let's take those off straight away. And then our leader, 6, and he's saved. No, it's a 5, so he's killed as well. So this is going to be a bad things happen for the Gauls straight off. The Gauls do fight back. So they're fighting back with, I think, 9 dice, I think I said, and not a single hit there. So they've lost by 3 or more, or 2 or more, so they lose back for every point of shock on the fighting group if warriors. So there's 2 points of shock there, so they fall back 2 inches. So the first contact with the enemy hasn't gone particularly well, but we've got to do a force morale roll for that leader being hit. So for the status 2 leader being killed, a 4 is 1 point off their force morale, so that brings them down to 8. They also get pushed back as well, but they are they warriors? Yeah, they are inferior warriors, so they're pushed back. So a 5 on warrior group pushed back by defeat is another point off, so they're now down to 7 on their force morale already. So things aren't going great as well for the Gauls. The Romans have moved their centurion, and he's then barked orders at the archers and also at the scorpion as well. Scorpion is going to fire at these warriors here, whilst the archers are going to fire at the big group of archers there. So try with the scorpion first. 4, 5, 6 to a hit. 4 is a hit, and it kills on a 5 or a 6 because they've got no armour because of the scorpion. A 2 is miss, so that's done nothing to them. But then we get the 8 archers firing at, they're going to be firing at the warriors here in front of them, so they will affect the Abroxia warriors as well, so we'll split the hits between them. These are hitting on 5s and 6s. So let's have a look. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits this time. And I said they were firing largely at the warriors because they've got lighter armour, so it's going to be 2 hits on them and then 3 hits on those. So we'll do the lighter armoured warriors first of all. Their effects. They are wearing, as I said, light armour. So a 6 is a kill. 3 to 5 is shock. 2 1s is nothing. They are the elite warriors are in medium armour, so they're now saving on a 6 is a kill, 4, 5 is shock. So 1 kill and 4 is a shock. So they've got their further drops down to 5 instead of 6. Okay, so we've got the tribal slingers. They're throwing their slings at the Romans in the woods again, so we're looking at 5s and 6s to hit. So that's 2 hits. The Romans, because they're in a cover, they ignore the first kill. It becomes a shock. Well, let's see what happens to their hit effect. It is a 5 and a 3 with heavy armour. The 5 is 1 shock and the 3 is a miss. And then the Scorpion opens up again, so we're looking at 4, 5, 6, firing at the warriors. 1 is a miss, so it just sails off into the distance. Right, the Tempus Fugit card has just been pulled, so it's the end of the turn, but the Romans are using a single Signa card, all they've got left, to fire again down at the Gauls with their archers here, because the Gauls are lining up to attack this turn. So they're firing their bows. They need a 5 or a 6 to hit. So we've got 2, 3 hits, again spread across those 2 groups at the front. So 2 are on the warriors in front, 2 there. So the warriors with the light armour on, we're looking at 6 as a kill, 4, 5 is shock. Correct, let me just check that again. Light armour, 3 to 5 is a shock. So that's 1 kill and 1 shock on them, so that reduces them down to 4. They can't roll lower than a 1, so Asterix has not been hit, but one of them has. And then we've got these guys with medium armour on, so they're looking at a 6 is a kill, 4, 5 is shock. So another 6 is another kill. God, they're pecking away at these. Alright, using the Signa cards, the Gauls have led an attack. Asterix has broken off one section, and they've piled forward into the archers in the courtyard of the villa itself. So I've got sorting out the dice here, rolling all of these, and 5 6s are kills. So let's see how many they score this time. Hopefully better than the Roman cavalry before. Not great though. That's 2 kills. So that's 2 kills and 1 shock. So let's just put that shock on first of all, because that goes on there anyway. And let's stick that down there so I remember. They've got to save these though, and they save on 6s because they've got light armour. So 1 is saved and 1 is killed. So this is not a great attack already. However, the survivors, well, the archers are only fighting with 6 dice, so let's see what happens with them. Now they've caused 3 kills and 3 shock, so that takes off the barbarian further straight away because they only had 3 left. So they've got 3 kills, so 2 are definitely going to be on any of their warriors. Asterix has to roll to see if he's one of the ones that is hit. Now what happens here is we roll the Romans are playing their assassin card, so there's a -2 on this roll. So let's see what happens to him. 2 minus 2 is 0, so yes, he is also one of the ones that is hit. So let's just do the save test for the warriors themselves. Both of those are killed. They needed 6s to survive that, so 1, 2, and then we've got Asterix is hit as well. I did forget to do this for the previous leader getting hit, but we've got to roll to see what happens to him. It's a 2. The leader positions himself carefully behind another man who is hit by the missile, so we just remove another figure. So the Romans have spent their infamy card for nothing, but at least Asterix is still alive. Now the Gauls have lost by 2. So they fall back for each point of shock on the fighting group if they're warriors. Meanwhile, Obelix and co are piling in here on the left, smashing into those legionaries. So they're rolling, oh, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 dice. So Chucks and Signa cards have got all kinds of things going on. They've got fervour, they've got support. So we're hitting on 5s and 6s again. So let's just see what we've got. Let's get rid of the misses this time. There's a few more hits in here than before, so that's much better. However, these have got heavy armour, so there's a good chance they're going to survive this. So we've got 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 hits, of which 3 are shock. So let me put that shock on first of all. I've already got 1, so that's taking them now up to 4 shock and 7 kills, or 7 hits, should I say. 1 is going to be on their Optio. So let's just see. He saves on a 4, 5 or 6 because he's got armour. So 4, so he's saved anyway. And let's see how many of the other 6 are saved. 4, 5, 6s. So we've got 1, 2, 4 of them are killed. Wow, that is a good result there for the Gauls. They've punched a hole straight through the centre of them, pretty much. So let's take those 4 off. They do get to roll back though, obviously. It's part of their fight. They're rolling far fewer dice this time though. So let's just see, 5s and 6s are hits. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 this time. 3 of which reduce their fervour by 3, so that takes them down to 2 on that front unit. And it's 4 kills, 1 of which could be Obelix, so let's see if he's hit. 1 to 4 he is. Yes, Obelix is one of the ones that's hit, but let's do the defence of the other guys. They're all on medium armour this time, so it's 5s and 6s will save. So let's see, so 1 saved, 2 are killed, so we'll get rid of the 2 killed. 1, 2 killed. Then same with Obelix, he's on a 5, 6 save. Obelix is saved anyway. So the Gauls have won. The Romans are pushed back. They fall back 1 inch for every point of shock on the fighting group. So they've got 4 shock there, so they're going to fall back 4 inches. And the Gauls have won that one. Nice one. So that's a morale roll for the Romans, with a group being pushed back. A 3 on a warrior group pushed back in defeats is a -1. I did the roll for Asterix and his group being thrown back, but they only got a 1, rolled a 1 or a 2, I think, so they didn't lose any force morale, but it brings the Roman force morale down by 1. Well, this was a very short turn. All that happened was the Roman cavalry moved, and then the Tempus Fugit card came up. There's only one Sigma card in play, which was the Gauls, so they played that. Asterix and his crew are piling in again against those archers to see if they actually do anything this time. They haven't got any further, so their dice are quite heavily reduced, but we're looking at 5s and 6s for kills. So let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 there. That's a cocked dice rolled onto a 5, so I'll take that. So that's 5 kills that I'd rolled over. There is no shock, so it's just 5 kills. So that almost wipes out that section, that team, should I say. They fight back with 6 dice. 5s and 6s, same again. So we've got 2 kills with 2 shock there. They have no further to actually absorb that shock, so that's going to go onto them there. So that gives them 2. So we'll see if it's Asterix, a 1, and it is. No, it's not, so it's 2 of the warriors again. So they're slowly getting chipped away at. And then 5 of the archers. So they are going to have to withdraw. They fall back for every point of shock on the fighting group. Well, 2 points, 2 inches, sorry, for every point, because they're skirmishers. So they're going to fall back 2 inches. So they'll fall back to the other side of the villa. So that is, skirmishers are not wiped out, and they don't count as being pushed back in combat. So the Romans don't take any hits for that, but they just get their units. They just take the casualties, and the unit falls back. So we've got the Gauls. It was Asterix's go. He's basically commanded the rear unit to come forward. He's got rid of the shock of the warriors, and the rear unit has now got to the villa, and they're going to try to burn it. If they can set fire to it, then that is going to end the game. The way they do this is by rolling a d6. They can, if they get over 9, and this is cumulative, they will set fire to it, because it's a civilized building. So our first roll is a 2. So smoke has started to come out of it, but just not yet. So we still need another 7 points to get that building alight. The Gaulish slingers have come forward, and they're going to throw at the auxiliary. 5 6s to hit. So that's just 1 hit. They're defending on a 6 is a with medium armour. 6 is a kill. 4 5 is shock. 6, so they've killed one of them. Okay, over on the Gauls' flank here, the Scorpion is opening fire first of all. It's the leader. He's basically commanded the Scorpion to open fire, and then also to push forward the auxiliary as well. So I've just moved the auxiliary forward now, but Scorpion's firing on a 4 5 or a 6 at the levy. Let's see, a 2, so that's a miss anyway. So we'll go straight onto the combat. So the Romans, 5s and 6s, kills as before. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 kills this time, 2 of which are shock, so that takes their shock straight up to 4. And we said 4 kills. They've got no armour, so there's no saves on those. Let's take those off while I remember. Then they get to fight back on, same again, 5s and 6s. So we've got 4 kills and 3 shock. So let's put that shock onto those Romans. The Romans then get to do their dice roll for their save. They're saving on a 5 or a 6 because they've got medium armour. So let's see how many come out of this. 4, 2, 2 and a 1. So actually all 4 of those are killed as well then. So this means both of these are going to get thrown back, I think. They actually fight another round of combat. There's no pushbacks immediately, so the Romans are rolling 5 this time. So 5s and 6s again, so that's 3 of them killed. 2 more shocks, so that takes them up to 6 shock. So that is, they are broken, so they will retreat 2d6 plus 6 inches back. They've got no armour, so they don't save anything. The Gauls, on the other hand, they roll a 2. So no, that's not a single hit. So they fall back 2d6 plus 6 inches. They fall back 5, 11 inches straight away. So get that out of the way. So they're all the way back here. And that is going to be a roll because they are broken. A setback. Warrior group broken. A 1 is -1 point, so the Gauls now on 6 force morale. Right, we've got another push forward from Obelix and his gang over here. So they're thrashing into these legionaries, hitting on 5s and 6s. So let's see how many we got, and dealing out shock for any 6s there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kills in total. There's actually only 5 in there. Dealing out 2 shock, so that actually takes them up to 6. Anyway, they have heavy armour. Let's see if their leader is the one that is hit. Yes, he's one of the ones that is hit. So let's roll for him. 4, 5, 6, he's saved anyway. No, so he is injured. We'll come back to him. And then we've got 4 hits on the others. 4, 5, 6 are saves. So they have 2 saves, 2 kills. So that's them down. Let's see what happens to the leader. We'll roll that dice. Sorry, I mixed those up. Roll the dice. A 3 is he positions himself behind another man who is removed instead. So they are now down to 1 man there. Not good, not good. They fight back. Same again, 5 6s. Oh, not a single hit. So they are actually pushed back. They fall back 1 inch for the shock on them, so they're going to fall back 6 inches from where they are. That's going to be another setback for the Romans. So let's fall these back and then check that. Actually, they're broken, to be honest. They're not even. There's no point even falling them back, so they're going to be falling. They're broken immediately, so they fall back 7 plus 6 inches is 13 inches, so they've actually fallen back off the table, so they're completely gone. So that's the Roman flank cleared. So we have a status 2 leaders routed from the table. First of all, let's roll the Romans. A 3 is -1 on their force morale, and then they have also lost a warrior group breaking. A 1 is another -1, so 2 off the Romans' force morale. Pretty good going there, Obelix. So we've got the Scorpion, it's firing at the slingers. 4, 5, 6 is a hit, so that's 1 hit. And let's see what it does. 5 is a kill, so it's taking out 1 of the slingers. And on the Tempest Fugit card, the slingers are going to get to have a go back at the auxiliary. So that's 1 hit, that's a 5. They are in medium armour, so let's see what happens. A 4 in medium armour is a shock, which actually forces them to withdraw, because they now have more shock than troops. Okay, that was a Tempest Fugit card, and I think at that point I'm going to call this a Gaulish win. I know the Gauls haven't actually reduced the Roman morale, and they've actually got less force morale at the moment than the Romans. But looking at what the Romans have got left on the field, they've basically got a scratch force left of very, very few soldiers. So they've only got the 3 auxiliary there who are already retreating, 2 cavalry. They've got the Scorpion, 3 archers, and their main leader. Whereas the Gauls have, 2 full groups of warriors, still with fervour at least on 1. They'd probably within 2 turns have that building burnt down anyway, because they only need to roll a 7 on 2d6, and they've still got some slingers over here and these guys there. So yeah, I think that was a pretty good victory for the Gauls. They do seem to do a lot of bashing in Infamy. They did take quite heavy casualties though, especially that warrior group at the front, who were at the front of the action, and also the tribal levy as well. So it does show that, even though they absolutely outnumbered the Romans put up a very stiff opposition to the attacks. But that was a great game of Infamy. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've probably forgotten loads of rules, made loads of rules mistakes. I know I did, but I've enjoyed it, and that's the main thing. If you've enjoyed it, please leave me a comment, give me a like, give me a subscribe. check out my Patreon, and there will be more Infamy games coming at some point in the future. So, thanks again for watching.